Allison, over to you.
Okay, Chris, our next guest represents 18 Guantanamo Bay detainees and has heard their stories about the way they were treated in detention. David Reams joins us now from Washington. Mr. Reams, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What have your clients told you about their experience during CIA interrogations?
I have one client, Abdul Salam al-Hila, who experienced exactly what the report talks about. He was put in a secret CIA prison, stripped, put in a lightless room, bombarded with loud music, taken into interrogation where strobe lights were shown in his eyes, chained to the wall so he couldn't sleep. Everything is documented in his case and in the case of other clients that I have.
There are other things that are documented in that particular detainee's case, and I want to read these because this is apparently the information that he had, that he knew, that they could have gotten out of him. This is according to a 2008 Department of Defense assessment. They say that your client, he had foreknowledge of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He also had foreknowledge of the 2000 attack on the USS Cole. He also had knowledge of a meeting that involved al-Qaeda members planning other attacks. Now, if they could have gotten information out of him before these things, obviously he was detained after these things happened, but since he was in the know and since he did have knowledge even of future attacks, they believe because of this al-Qaeda meeting, couldn't you make the argument that whatever they did to him, if they kept him awake for 180 hours, it would have been worth it to spare people's lives?
Well, you're assuming that what the government says he did is true. This is like an indictment. The defense has not made its case and can't make its case because most of the information that's relevant is kept classified.
Look, I'm assuming what they say is true because you're assuming what your client says is true. You are taking your client's position, and I can only go by what the Department of Defense tells us, and on face value, it seems as though that client was connected enough that he might have had some sort of life-saving information, and many people would say that if they could have gotten that out of him before an attack, that it would have been worth it.
I don't accept the premise. The government has not introduced evidence or provided any support for its claims. I just think on the face of it, you're looking at what the government said and not what happened. This is the problem. They can make the accusations. We cannot respond to the accusations. But I think the important thing here is the report itself. The report is too little, too late. It conceals more than it reveals. It doesn't follow the chain of responsibility up the command. Congress didn't act when it could have acted to prevent torture, and now the report itself comes out 5 years after there were really strong calls for accountability. It's really focusing direction, as all of these broadcasts show, on the fact that we did bad things and what the bad things were. Well, we knew we did bad things. We knew what they were. But that's what people focus on rather than the lack of accountability and responsibility.
So, Mr. Reams, what are you calling for today?
Well, if I were to have my requests honored, there'd be prosecution. There'd be prosecutions all the way up the chain to Vice President Cheney and President Bush himself for the crimes that they authorized, and also lower down officials for the crimes they sanctioned and committed. I think accountability is the key here.